In this video, I'm going to walk you through my incredibly easy options scalping strategy. And all you need is two indicators, and they're absolutely free on a number of platforms. But I'll be using TradingView and going through my live Tesla trade. And all I ask for is that you smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Now, the two indicators are firstly the RSI for overbought, oversold areas. You can use stochastics or whatever you want to use. I prefer the RSI default setting at 14. And then I like to use a pivot indicator. I've got my own OGT pivots indicator. It's exactly the same as the pivots traditional daily. So again, you can get those all on TradingView and they're all absolutely free. So because this is a scalping strategy, so we really want to be in these trades for 1 to 2 days maximum. And what we're looking to do here is switch the pivots indicator to the daily pivots. We don't need the S1 to S3 and R1 to R3. All we really need is the main pivot level. Now, when you look at this, is on the Thursday, Tesla absolutely got rammed. Elon and Donald are absolutely having a go at each other, but you know what it's like. When Elon does something and something negatively impacts Elon, Tesla gets hammered for it when there's nothing actually going wrong with Tesla whatsoever. So what we saw here at the end of Thursday's close is that we saw the price drop all the way down to a low of 273. I think it was like 15% down in the day or something like that. And just in this 1 hourly bar, you can see that if you look at just over here, that Tesla dropped 5.29%. And what that did is on the hourly chart showed that we were extremely oversold at an RSI reading of, what's it, like 15.7. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, I didn't time this absolutely perfectly. All I knew is near the end of the day, I started to manually calculate the pivot. And what you can do is just go on the daily chart, take the high, the low, the close, add them together, divide by 3. You'll get a rough view on where next day's pivot is. Now, the bit you've got to take into account here is that majority of the time, as you can see in all these situations here, that the daily pivot is hit. Now, what I've got here is 1 missed pivot, 2 missed pivot, and that's the Thursday pivot, the Wednesday pivot, and now we have the Friday pivot. So we had 2 missed pivots. The chances of having 3 missed pivot days in a row, extremely unlikely. So we've already had 2. We've got RSI oversold in very, very aggressive territory. We really expected some sort of a pullback, which, as you can see, we did, and we gapped up and pushed through the actual pivot level. Now, what I did on Thursday just before the close is that I sold the 290 put expiring tomorrow, which I didn't get the best price because I got in around like here and it dropped a lot further. As you can see, I think I managed to get like $330 premium. And so what we're saying here is before Friday, the 6th of June, if Tesla is below 290, I would have to get assigned 100 shares at 290. So I would have ended up rolling this position if it did go wrong. But fortunately, as expected, with the indicators telling me we have an extreme oversold condition, and again, trying to get around just under that pivot point. So what I did was I calculated the pivot point, and you can see here that I got it. I think I had the pivot slightly lower, so I wanted to get just around that pivot level. So I got the 290, and then what that made me do is get a very, very aggressive 1-day put. And as you can see, he gapped up. He started flirting around break even around here, and then as price went up and time went for me in my favor, it started to erode. It was like 5 cents or something like that. So I just decided to buy it back. So of that $300 odd, I made, or 330, I made about $325 on that one single trade. And again, this is repeatable every single time in terms of whether you use TradingView or use something like FinViz on trying to put screeners on there to say, show me a stock that is overbought, oversold, get it up on TradingView, get your pivot indicator on, get your RSI on, and you can see how many missed pivots you had etc. This was one of the perfect trades that I've done in such a while. And again, it's a very simple trading strategy. And I won't say there's an opportunity every single day because there are some slow moving stocks like Citigroup or JP Morgan and things that don't really have high option premium. But when this happens in something like Tesla, again, even areas around here, right? I haven't got the pivot stuff up there. But again, you can start scalping all of these areas here when we have some. I just wanted to pull down a little bit. Again, areas over here, you have a pull down. Again, you can go in, start selling, in this example, selling calls or buying puts, whichever one you're more comfortable with, and trying to obtain profits. This one was a really aggressive move, and again, not really based on any fundamentals of Tesla, just the standard noise between Trump and Elon. So that's why I went for this trade, and you can see it worked out perfectly. Now, the only thing I would say on this is that you have to know what your exit strategy is. So in my example, if the trade started to go down or we didn't get a pull up higher than the 290, I would have rolled this position into the next couple of weeks, trying to bring it down a little bit more or roll the position down and out. Again, if you are doing it for buying puts, or in this example, you would buy a call in this particular example, you then would just have to be happy with the premium that you or the debit that you paid for the for the premium you're happy to lose in this example. So for me, this was a high probability trade, a quick snap of $300 into the kitty, which again can be used to compound an account if you keep finding these positions. So very quickly, you find something that is overbought, oversold on the hourly chart, ideally on a daily basis, or if it's weekly or if it's monthly, again, you can just maximize it up. And then you were looking for 1 to 2 missed pivots. You calculate the pivot, the next day's pivot just before market close, place your trade, and hopefully, you get to move in your direction that you can get out for a small or big profit. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.